This video was created by the Upper North Farming Systems. The 2025 De-Risking the Seeding program is a project funded by the SA Drought Hub and is an extension on the work carried out by Upper North Farming Systems through the AgX Alliance-led project in 2024, which received funding through the Australian Government's Future Drought Fund. This project aims to accelerate the adoption of strategic dry and early sown crop management approaches. Thank you to Matt Nottle and David Clarke, farmers from Booleroo Centre, who provided the seeders for this demonstration and feature in this video, and to Michael Eyres for working alongside the Upper North Farming Systems and providing commentary in this video.
Hi, I'm Matt. This is my Booleroo air drill. It's a 5810, 13 metre air drill. It's set up with dual chute, Agmaster points and seed boots. We're running the flex boot. The bar will be going into its 9th season. So this being an air drill, there's no wheels inside the frame. In the paddock, the weight's on the front casters and the press wheels at the back. So it does pack quite heavy. Yeah, certainly our soil types has been really good, works really well. Trash flow is really good. There's no compromise in tyne layout. There's no wheels inside the frame, so we can sow through heavy stubble. It will block, but it will handle stubble a lot better than what, say, a standard cultivator would, because there's no wheels in the frame to obstruct the flow of trash. The liquid system has been on there since new. The point digs a trench. It will throw soil into the interrow. Fert will come down the back of the point and is distributed not necessarily at the bottom of the trench, but through that profile heading to the bottom. The closing plate on the boot will drag soil over top and the seed will come in behind that, and we place our liquid with the seed. And then the press wheel is wider than the seed closing plate, so that will drag a little bit more soil back in as it presses. So then you're getting a situation that you're now covering the seed with the press wheel and packing down the whole furrow all at once.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm here with my seeding setup, hybrid disc. It is a bit different to most blokes' seeding rigs in our district. Essentially it combines a zero-till disc with a seed boot to enable enough soil throw for herbicide incorporation. So I haven't had to compromise my herbicide regime by going to a disc machine. It does have compromises, but it also allows the increase in stubble retention, cutting higher at harvest and still being able to get through the trash without compromising herbicide packages at seeding. So this is the opener hanging upside down, but essentially the philosophy is the disc cuts the slot. It's an undercut disc, which means that it's tilted off the vertical as well as turned in a bit to create the furrow. And then this bit here, which is a seed boot, comes along and it sits in the furrow that's been created by the disc and creates a seed ledge, kind of like a paired row seeding setup, but only one side. It effectively in the paddock gives you what a paired row seeder does in half. It gives seed and fertiliser separation, so I can double shoot high rates. Not that we need it this year, and from what I've seen the couple of years we've had it, we've had really good establishment, but we don't know if it makes any difference at harvest because we haven't really had a harvest since I had it. So it's a bit hard to tell, but the seed comes out this and it just gets spurted out the back and left on the ledge. The fertiliser comes out beside the disc and just drops straight to the bottom of the furrow. Because it's a parallelogram configuration, it's no different to any disc, is we've got depth adjustment, so I can control it by 1/4 inch increments, and it's great but time consuming to change. I think that's been what's helped or improved our seed establishment, but I don't know whether that's a machine specifically or going to a parallelogram based opener system which gives exact seed placement. The press wheel governs the height or the depth the seed gets set because it's all off a cantilever setup here, and then I control the pressure on the press wheel and on here from the cab. We've had this for 2 seasons, this is the 3rd season we've had it for. Before that we had a knife point press wheel, flexicoil, chisel plough. The main reason I started going down the rabbit hole looking at disc was moisture conservation. We've got a large amount of our area in really low rainfall country. Moisture is our biggest limiting resource on about half our country. When we get a crop, being able to cut the crop really high and leave really high stubble length so that it actually protects the ground, and we save it for much longer rather than having to cut, which I was having to do previously, cut low so that I can manage the trash at seeding time. When you're on a tyne machine, Trash flow and seeding starts at harvest by the height you cut your stubble. With this, I can more go about making sure I maximise harvest efficiency, leaving more stubble length so I can hopefully leave more cover on the ground over summer and reduce water evaporation and try and keep more moisture.
Michael Eyres here from Field Systems. I've worked since about 2007 in the mid-north, which is a variety of different soil types and conditions. And now that we're tackling more dry sowing and using different instruments, whether it's a disc or a hybrid disc or a tyne, your seed soil contact with a disc may be better. Sometimes you do need the deeper fracture in certain soil types you get from a tyne. You may not get that fracture pattern with a disc. Some people say you're not getting the movement of soil and disturbance of soil with a disc, but you can in certain soil types. We had Brett Asfar here in Booleroo for an upper Nottle seeder setup day, and we'd gone through with the tyne at Nottles looking at the movement of soil inter-row throw. So just in relation to dry sowing, yes, we're doing it a little bit more often than we would like. Disc versus tyne, you've got to be really careful making assumptions that one's better than the other. Largely, they deal with different soil conditions, considering the herbicide you're using, the inter-row throw. The other thing you can do is also predetermine the movement of soil and the sizing of particles for seed soil contact from changing speed in your seeder. Some of the heavier soils, I might be reluctant possibly to use a disc. The harder setting, higher density clays and things like that. I like discs for certain soil types. Using a disc, you may get better seed soil contact. Relying on a small amount of moisture that may be in the soil can get better germination so the plant's up and away. But then there's a trade-off because you don't have that deeper fracture pattern largely that you get with a tyne. So when roots get growing, they can go to depth and you're storing moisture. So critical for drainage and infiltration. Sometimes with a disc in certain soil types, that doesn't take place. Out of this dry sowing, and what we're learning very quickly is that we don't know enough and we need to start mastering it, observing and understanding what all farmers are seeing and working with. And there will be a lot to understand from how we actually master dry sowing. We need to have these discussions.